parents and kids, Miss Aly here. I'm going to do a cooking video for you guys today. So, cooking does a lot of cool stuff, math standards, science standards, and things with measurement. But also, before we even start the cooking video, wash your hands, get your utensils ready, and let's get started.
In between your fingers.
Okay, so today we're going to make some guacamole. Guacamole has not always been my favorite thing to eat because I didn't really like avocados, but I worked at Chipotle for 3 years and ended up liking it. And I know some of the kids would like avocados if they tried them. So, for our recipe, we of course have avocados. It doesn't really matter how much you want. If you want to make a big batch of guacamole, then you get more. I know avocados are expensive, so when I make a small batch, I'll probably use like 3 or 4, but we're gonna make a big batch today, so we have some more. Limes, you need a couple limes for the juice. Jalapenos, I know some of the kids might not like spiciness in their guacamole, so you could substitute it maybe for like tomatoes, or not a lot of jalapenos. It's not very spicy if you put like 1, but I'm gonna make it spicier and put like 3. A red onion. Look how beautiful this is. White onions are not as flavorful as red onions. And then cilantro. This will be diced up. You don't want to put big chunks of cilantro because it can be kind of not flavorful. Utensils that you need a big bowl, a spoon, and a knife. Of course, kids, stay safe. Do not play with knives. And possibly like a fork, or if you have like a masher, you can use one of those, but I don't have one of those. Okay, let's get started. To cut an avocado, you want to start at the base and use a sharp knife and go into the avocado, work your way around. And then to make it less messy, you can just open it up. Well, maybe. Sorry guys. You open it up, and if they're super ripe, they should open really easily, and you just hold it like this, and you can scoop the avocado meat like that. Get rid of that one. You can squeeze out the pit and scoop out the other one. These are not super ripe, so if your avocado is super ripe, it should just fall off of it. To tell how the avocados are ripe, they're a little smushy. So other vegetables you might not think are ripe if they're smushy. Avocados, you want to be a little squeezy to the touch. Okay, so your kid can also take their hands and just pull it off like that, and then get their hands in here and play with the avocado meat a little bit. Also fine motor skills working with the spoon, scooping it out. So even if they don't like guacamole and you guys have maybe like a taco night or something, they can still help you guys make it and enjoy it yourselves. Okay, so if you don't have a masher, you can take your knife and you can cut into the avocados to make them a little smaller. And then your kids can also, not with a knife in the bowl of course, take their hands and mash them in clean hands. I really like the texture of the avocados. I think it feels super cool. And then when you get them all mashed up like this, then you can take a fork or a masher and get started on the extra mash. If you have a mixer, you can also use a mixer. It does get everywhere and it's super messy, but I always liked using the mixer with the kids. So even if you think they can't handle it, they can put their hand on top of your hand and feel the vibration of the mixer and do this with you. And then after you're done mixing, this makes a good snack. Okay, next we're gonna work on cutting up some of our vegetables to go in our guacamole. First is the onion. You cut it in half first, and then you cut off these weird tops to it. And then you make long slits down the side. Maybe a cameraman can get us some close up. Like this. And if you have a really sharp knife, this works a little better. And then to dice it, you just cut down like this. And then you have little dices. Okay, then you cut all of your onion like this and you're just left with the core and you throw that away. So at this time, while you're cutting, your child can start grabbing the onions and then putting into your guacamole bowl. But I'm not gonna do that right now because it's just me. Okay, as you can see, one large onion goes a long way. Try not to cry so much like I'm doing right now. But you take, I can't see. Take your onion and then just scoop it down in there, or have some tiny hands help you. Scoop all your onions down in the bowl. Like so. So, next we have jalapenos. So you take the tops off, and they should pop right off, but this one's not popping for me. And then you cut them in half. And then you try to scoop out the insides with your knife. All right, after you get all the insides out and you scoop out the seeds, you want to make long, skinny strips of a jalapeno. And then when you have a long, skinny strip, you want to cut it and piece it into pieces. Like that. When you get all of your jalapenos chopped up, put them in your bowl, and now your bowl is starting to look really colorful and you got a good amount of jalapenos in there. I personally just eyeball it. I don't really have an exact measurement of jalapenos. This recipe had probably like 6 to 9 avocados, a whole red onion, and 2. To cut cilantro, it's a little tricky because it's a leaf. So there's lots of stems to the cilantro and I don't like all those. So I'm just gonna cut those off and put those to the side. And then to cut cilantro, you kind of have to put it together in a big ball and roll it really, really tight and hold it tight down on your hands in a big pile. And then cut it in as small pieces as possible. And try not to get too much more stem. Just cut away. So the edge looks really flat and put together. Okay, so when you cut cilantro, there's a lot of little tiny pieces I'd cut, but there's still some big pieces. So just push it all together again. And then repeat the process, but a little faster and in short motion. And it's not gonna hurt my hand. Go over it and put it all in a pile. So your child can then, after you get it all cut up, can feel the texture, get all the cilantro on their hands, and then also put it right back into your bowl. There's lots of good green stuff in there. And I'll probably put that much in and probably keep some off to the side just because it's a little too much. At the end of the video and at the end of the recipe, you can taste test what your guacamole tastes like. If it needs some more cilantro, just add the extra that you already had cut up. Cut the lime, there's 2 parts of the stem on this side and this side. You want to cut it in the middle of that. If I can get my knife through it, see? And then your child can help you squeeze all that lime juice into the bowl. Make sure if you have any cuts or anything like that, that you keep them away from the lime because it burns. And there's all that lime juice. Yeah. Also, as well as limes, you can use lemons at the same time, so you can have lime and lemon juice in here. I really like that, and that is what Chipotle uses. Now you want to make sure you put some salt in there to add some flavor, and guacamole like this and this big bowl is going to take a lot of salt. So you're just going to pour that in. Yep, that's it. And also the lime and the salt keeps it really fresh and also gives it a lot of flavor. So if your guacamole is a little bland or not tasting the best, put some more lime juice in there or some more salt. After you have all your ingredients in there, just go ahead and start mixing. So this is a really good part for all the kids to do. Make sure all the ingredients are mixing up. I really wish you guys could smell this right now because it smells really good with all the lime and the oregano in there. And the onions are awesome. So keep mixing. My two favorite kind of chips are the Tostitos Scoops, which you can see are almost gone, and the Tostitos Hint of Lime, because that lime flavor is my favorite. So let's open it up and have a taste test. Get a small chip here. Taste test. It's delicious. Remember, if you need some little extra flavor in your guacamole, add some more salt, take extra limes, take extra cilantro, and put it in there. To keep your guacamole super fresh, you want to take saran wrap. You take one layer and push that layer down on top of the guacamole and smush it down to make an airtight seal. And you may need a couple more pieces to make it super airtight. This helps your guacamole and your avocados from browning. If they turn brown, it looks really gross, but it's not bad. It doesn't taste any different. It just gets oxygenated, and the air around it does not make your guacamole look pretty. And after you put it on top, wrap it around the bowl. I'm not the best at this, sorry guys. Like this, really tight as you can get it. And then push down to get all that air out, and you have a really nice vacuum sealed top to it. Make sure after you get your guacamole done, you put it in the fridge, make it nice and fresh and cold, and clean up your area. Thanks guys, I enjoyed making guacamole with you guys today. Next, we're gonna cut some vegetables. Delete. And then you do some beatboxing. And cry. Guacamole, guacamole, guacamole.